Hello, good evening and welcome to the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. My name is Bobi Osei. On the Business Dashboard today, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta gives indication all persons involved in the collapse of banks will face the law. Also, pressure mounts on Chartered Institute of Bankers to publish names of professionals whose actions led to the collapse of 7 banks. Meanwhile, banking consultants insist Pastor Mensa Otabil cannot dissociate himself from developments that led to the collapse of Capital Bank. And chaos at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Tiptoe Lane, as some traders demolish shops belonging to foreigners. Later on in the news, we will tell you how the makeup industry is growing in Ghana. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews, analysis on trending business issues, coming up in the next 30 minutes. In our first story for the evening, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has given the strongest indication that government will make sure all persons involved in the collapse of banks in the country face the law. According to him, the banking system did not fail, but rather individuals stole depositors' funds for their own personal use. Speaking at a press conference to inaugurate the Tax Dialogue Initiative, Mr. Ofori-Atta maintained that everybody found culpable will be made to answer to their roles in the collapse of the banks.
We are really very soft about enforcement of laws, and hopefully with what we are going to do in the banking sector, everybody will begin to realize that those periods are gone, and if I'm going to have to spend 5.6 billion to bail out the banking system because I have to protect depositors, the question is not one of a banking failure. I need to be able to tell you that that managing director or that shareholder stole that money, and it has to be very upfront because that's 5 billion that I'm using as opposed to in SHS or school feeding or maternal pregnancy, and the issue of sentiments are out of it.
Now, still staying with banking, consultants Dr. Francis Mensah Sasraku is asking that the Chartered Institute of Bankers publishes the names of professionals whose actions led to the collapse of 7 banks. The revocation of the licenses of UT and Capital Banks and the consolidation of 5 others recently has led to calls for professionals to be duly sanctioned. Dr. Sasraku made the remarks at a public lecture and book launch of Fate of System Thinking.
According to Dr. Sasraku, failing to sanction such chartered bankers will breed another crop of rot in the financial sector. In his view, the licenses for such professionals should be revoked, possibly.
Once a member misconducts himself or herself, his name has to be published, his membership will have to be withdrawn, because membership of professional bodies, especially banking and accountancy, is a controlling system. That is why in some positions it's a requirement to hold a specific professional qualification to be given that position. So if somebody compromises the kind of regard that we have for that position, which is also determined to a large extent by your qualification and experience and your membership status, we need to take appropriate steps. So that is very, very important. It's done everywhere. It will serve as a linchpin or a basis for the younger ones to say that once I'm an ACIB, I need to be very careful anywhere I go.
Already, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana has notified of its investigations and possible sanctioning of all its members who will be found culpable. The Institute of Internal Auditors has, however, insisted that the difficulty in heeding the preferences of boards of directors should be blamed for the non-disclosure of anomalies in the financial statements of banks. The National Banking College has backed the calls to identify and sanction certified bankers who have a role to play in the industry's current woes. Its principal, Abna Keswa Brown, tells Citi Business News, pruning the number of industry practitioners is inevitable.
ACIB is supposed to also plays a role. We are actually partners. They play a role in providing professional banking training for people who want to be professional bankers. So hence, it is probably just like the accountants have come out to look at them. I think that it is in the right direction that they would actually also look at the responsibility of their members who have been involved and see what they need to do to actually put in the right governance.
The central bank is seeking to enforce its fit and proper directives, which will scrutinize nominations to boards. Again, such ex-board members who have been cited will be barred from undertaking any financial role for the next 5 years. Meanwhile, the author of the book, Fate of Systems Thinking, Samuel Autry, believes Ghana must work to strengthen its economic base to build strong banks. Not only is the central bank working hard to sanitize Ghana's financial sector, professional bodies are also ensuring that their members found culpable are brought to book. And this will all culminate into building strong banks. For Citi News, I am Pius Amehe Eduku.
Now, another banking consultant, Nana Otui-Champon, says Pastor Mensa Otabil will not be absolved of blame following his explanation that he did not play a direct role in the day-to-day management and operations of the defunct Capital Bank. In his first public reaction to the collapse of Capital Bank, Pastor Otabil explained that he was a non-executive board chairman, hence had no day-to-day control over the bank. It has emerged that a 1.4 billion Ghana cedi liquidity support injected into the bank was diverted into ventures without due process. Now, Nana Otui-Champon stated that even though all directors of the 7 collapsed banks are innocent until proven guilty, they are jointly liable for the fortunes of their banks.
He has shown it in his rights, within his human rights, and so nobody can question that. It's up to the investigators to establish whether he is in any way liable for decisions that were taken by the board. In simple terms, what it means is once you are a member of the board of directors, decisions taken by the board, whether you were present or absent, you are liable for. And the board is at the helm of any corporation, any company, any bank, because you are the soul of the institution. So anything that goes on will come under your purview. If executives fail in their duty to report accurately to you, you cannot shield or be shielded from blame. So in the case that we are talking about now, any director of any of the 7 banks is jointly and severally liable for whatever infractions that may have occurred.
Well, you're still watching the Business Dashboard and still staying on the subject of the collapsed bank, specifically UT and Capital Bank. I have in the studio a former worker or ex-worker of Capital Bank, Mr. Philip Simbos. You're welcome to the Business Dashboard.
Thank you.
So it's been exactly a year. I'll jump straight into it since Capital Bank basically collapsed. How have you been managing and surviving?
I say it's only God that knows how myself and then my colleagues have been surviving, because 1 year without receiving a salary is a difficult thing. Even not receiving 1 month's salary is a big blow. How much more going 11 months or 7 months without salary? So it's really a challenging situation that we find ourselves in.
All right, now I have a press release here basically saying that 1 year after the liquidation of ex-Capital Bank and UT Bank, as exit pay remains unpaid. I mean, can you give me a background to this? When did you sign the agreement to have your exit pay to be given to you, and why has it taken this long?
Negotiations started as far back as November 2017, and UNICOF was appointed by the two former banks, to do the negotiation on behalf of staff. And it didn't take a longer time. I think even the very first meeting, everything was concluded. So we went with paperwork, official communication. So we received the official communication through UNICOF on the 15th of January 2018. We were even expecting that by the ending of January, which it will be paid to us before we leave the service. Those who will be leaving the service will be leaving. But unfortunately, it didn't happen like that. We went home February 2018, and up to now, we have not received them.
So tomorrow, 15th of August, essentially will be about, I think, 8 months since
the last batch went home. It was in batches. The first batch went in September 2018.
All right, so
2017. Sorry.
The press release we have here, you basically have directed, or more or less, you are making a plea to the president as well as some other key, personalities.
Sure.
What exactly are you hoping to achieve with this release?
Just as we've been saying, we need to get our exit pay. We have told over the years for the company, and it is no fault of any staff that this thing has happened. And when it happened, government was so, let me say, good to come into the aid of the customers. In the bid of making sure that the industry does not collapse, or the financial sector does not collapse, came to the aid of the customers and then resolved their issues for them. So that no customer lost their deposit.
Yeah. But
an important stakeholder in this situation have been missed out. That is the staff. And today being 1 year, people have been in the house without any money.
Some people have even died as a result of that.
Sure. And we have not received it. We shouldn't be in a country like this where we wait for the worst to happen before leaders will act.
Now, in all of this, you sent a petition to the president, and you are saying that you've not received any response.
Of course, the petition was sent on 31st May, and we have not even just a letter to acknowledge that we've received your petition. It has not happened.
All right. Now, finally, going forward, for those who would say that okay, there are jobs in the system, you should make be productive, find ways of doing different things. What do you have to say to them? Your final call to the president on this matter.
Of course, myself and some of my colleagues have been trying to get a job, but the market isn't easy. The job market isn't easy to get one. And we were even praying that we will get this exit pay paid to us, so that in our own small way, maybe we could start something on our own, or team up as friends and as former colleagues, maybe to start something up on our own, and thereby maybe even employing someone else.
So how much money are we looking at here?
It depends, because it depends. It's based on your salary scale as you were on.
So someone on your level could earn as much as how much from the exit pay? About. Okay, well, it's all right. So, the joint receivers for UT and Capital and PricewaterhouseCoopers is basically saying that there are legal processes they need to overcome, so that if they dispose of the assets, then they can pay persons like yourself, and these will take time. So, my final call to you basically is, what's your message to PricewaterhouseCoopers as well as the government on this matter? What's your final call?
If you say you're waiting for the sale of assets before you can pay us, so if Pricewaterhouse is 20 years, they have not finished the sales, doesn't mean 20 years we're not going to receive them. Let's be human in this situation. Government can do it this way. Okay, get the people sorted out, as in pay the people. When Pricewater finish with the sale of assets, and it balances government, so that people's life will not be unduly affected. Because 1 year down the line now, Pricewater is saying pay, like from what we are saying, that means they have not finished the sale of assets. So, which means they have not paid us. Okay, they can't pay us now. So how do we survive? So
your call on the president, the vice, as you've indicated in this letter.
At least they should, just like they did for the customers, they didn't wait for the sale of assets before they gave the customers whatever the amount they need. It was in their accounts before the collapse. They make sure everything was intact. So it's same way it can be done for us. What even they spent on the customers are in excess, far in excess what would we pay to former staffs.
So thank you so very much for coming on the Business Dashboard. No, please wait. Well, that was Mr. Lawson, the former worker of Capital Bank. Now, still staying on, moving on to some other stories. Interested parties to benefit from proceeds of the disposal of assets and liquidation of same of defunct UT and Capital Banks may have to wait a little longer. This is because the joint receiver for the defunct UT and Capital Banks, PricewaterhouseCoopers, has stressed that the processes, majority of which are legal, could take more time than expected. The disclosure also comes a year into the revocation of the licenses of the two banks. But what has transpired so far? We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories on the Business Dashboard. Stay with us.
The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guest, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
I said, property tax, I will pay. If you come to my house, I'll cut you a check. But when did I do my presentation? February.
Yes.
Or February, yes, sometime. Nobody has come to my house.
Really?
Ghana is broke. And, that's the reality we must all come to live with.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on Citi TV.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked,
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.
You're welcome back to the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. My name is Bobby Osei. Let's bring you some more stories. There was chaos at the Tiptoe Lane at Kwame Nkrumah Circle this morning following an attempted demolition of about 13 shops by some unknown persons. The incident occurred around 5 a.m. today. The event has incurred the wrath of the traders, who claim the attempt was orchestrated by some Nigerians who wanted to forcefully take over the shops of some traders. Some of the traders have been speaking to Citi TV.
The traders, numbering over 100, massed up to protest further attempts to demolish their shops. Although 13 shops were affected, every other trader who operate in the area did not open their shops as a sign of solidarity with their colleagues. They cite the construction of a story building owned by a Nigerian, which is close to their shops, as a deliberate attempt to evict them. The traders, who were furious, blamed the incident on government failure to stop foreigners from trading in the retail market.
Not even, they came around 4 a.m. at dawn. Nobody was even here. It was one guy. He used to have a barber shop here. He was sleeping in the shop before the people came. If it wasn't without him, I would have known what had happened here. No notice. They came in at dawn when everybody's at home. So if it was to be legal, it should have come by this time. Daytime, when we were all asleep, then we demolished the thing. They came here, they broke in my laptop, my iPhone, and my man. They have taken everything away.
This place to do it as a store. Now, as he finished doing the store, he said the Ghanaians, the citizens, should leave for him to give it to Nigerians. Are we sitting here for foreigner to come and rule us? No, it's impossible. It's impossible. So we are pleading, we are begging the government to do something about it. They are taking our women, our work, everything.
Ghana is for Ghanaians. We all know that our GIPC losses, foreigners should not be in our market. But they are in our market. Now they get the audacity, come break our shop in the night, take people's mobile phone away. We are not agreed today and tomorrow. My name is John Say. I'm a Guta member, and we are going to take them on very seriously. So if the MP says we should come down, for how long? Our people should lodge their shop for them to be doing their business. No way. Since we lock our shop, they have to lock their shop.
Owner of the said building admitted selling the piece of land to the Nigerians, but explains that the contractors encroached the area belonging to the shop owners.
The building is mine. I give a dimension as to how these two Nigerians should build. Unfortunately, they encroached. So when they encroached, I came to stop them. And then they went to the police station in Accra. I asked them to stop, but unfortunately, no, they didn't stop. They were building. They were building at a pace. They built in the night. They built midnight. So in fact, I came there one day and I said, look, you cannot build here in the night. We are in court. As we speak right now, we are in court. With
the Nigerians?
With the Nigerians. There are two of them, Uche and Chinedu. Do you understand? As we speak, if like with me, I know the chairman here. Do you understand? If we want to tell them to move, we will not come and remove their shops with force. No.
Appeals by Assembly member for the area, Moses Abo, was not enough to calm the angry traders. But Mr. Abo said several attempts to stop the Nigerians from putting up the building have proved futile.
Before this project will start, I had a meet with the manager and then the traders that they want to do a project here. What I told them is that for me, I don't give permit. But these people are there for good 35 years. You should build your shop. The front can be here. The top can face like this. And at the end of the day, they agreed. So later on, I don't know where they passed. I see the project going on. Before I see their travel, before I come, they have done with the project.
Member of Parliament for Ayawaso Central, Henry Korte, who is also the Deputy Interior Minister, asked the traders to be calm as his ministry begins investigations into the issue.
That some people came to attempted to, demolish the shops around here. The motive behind it, I am yet to find out. I will conduct a full-scale investigations quickly as a member of Parliament, and I've asked the Assembly member in the meantime to speak to the traders to calm down. Let me conduct the investigations, and then per the outcome, we will know how to handle it.
Hundreds of traders here at the Tiptoe Lane, precisely the Freddy's Corner area, say they will fight every attempt by any individual who tries to take away the shops they have had for over 3 decades. For Citi News, I am Nana Oyankra.
Well, away from that, figures published by research firms in the makeup industry have shown that as of 2016, the global makeup industry grew by an estimated 8%. This translated into millions of dollars for players in the industry. In recent times, the makeup industry in Ghana has grown significantly and has proven to be a good business venture, as it is serving as a major source of revenue for players playing within that space. So what is the current state of Ghana's makeup industry? My colleague Anita Arthur has been finding out in the following report.
Years ago, the makeup industry in Ghana was nothing to write home about. But today, makeup can be considered as a topmost priority for most women in all walks of life. The industry is fast growing and has become a major avenue of job creation. But what are the challenges, and how are players in the industry coping? Ima Yankee is a beauty therapist at Second Image Hair and Beauty Therapy, and she shares her experience of being in the makeup industry for the past 5 years with me.
5 years back, it wasn't that lucrative because a lot of people weren't too much enlightened with makeup. But now everybody has become enlightened. Even students in JHS, SHS, university are more into makeup now. They want to learn makeup as a personal career and even use it on themselves. So it has become like a lucrative. Normally, because we take care of brides, normally from June, July, August, all the way to December, we have a lot of brides who walk in to do like consultation on bridal makeup, and then they take the bridal makeup. So we do that for them most of the time. And then during December, we have a lot of fashion shows, we have a lot of programs in town, so people also walk in to do their makeup. So mostly it's between June, July, August to December.
She admits it has become a very lucrative industry and encourages people to get into it by first learning how to apply it the proper way.
It has become a very lucrative industry, in the sense that a lot of people are now trooping into makeup. Because now you have a lot of people who don't really understand what makeup is. They feel that applying products on the face and, changing the looks is what makeup is. But then they don't understand the products, they don't understand skin type, they don't understand the different kind of makeup for different kind of occasion.
At Body Basics in Accra Mall, I meet Belinda, who, after showing me a wide range of products on the shelves of her shop, tells me that demand for makeup services and products has shot up significantly over the past 2 years.
When we started, it wasn't booming like it is now. People have come to understand that they need to enhance their beauty, especially ladies, okay? So they come in for their foundations, their lipsticks, their bronzers, their highlighters. So far, so good.
But just how much do ladies love makeup? And how much are they willing to spend on it?
Basically, I do wear makeups when I'm going out, maybe parties, wedding, church. Actually, sometimes I say 100 cedi, 200 for makeups.
Yeah, I used to spend 500.
Makela Adomako is the CEO of Domicile of Arts and one of many entrepreneurs who not only offers makeup services but makeup classes as well.
The makeup industry is quite competitive now. It's also an avenue to learn new things every day, especially when you go online. So even though it's competitive, you learn a lot online, because right now there are a lot of people who do makeup out there, so it actually keeps you on your feet. You want to learn new things so that you also be up to your game.
She goes on to highlight the most common challenges of makeup artists.
Trying to convince them in the beginning, and then getting the funds for ads like radio, TV is very expensive. And if you don't have the following on social media, your work doesn't travel, so you have to pay. And that's where the difficulty is. You have to do makeup for free at a point. You have to sponsor shows and all those things at your own cost.
So a normal look like this will cost between 150 to 300 Ghana cedis, whilst a bridal look will cost you between 500 to 1,000 Ghana cedis. And a simple walk-in look will cost you between 100 to 200 Ghana cedis. From the home studio of Domicile of Arts in Roman Ridge, I am Anita Arthur reporting for Citi News.
We're still watching the business dashboard. Let's take our international story. And South Africa has asked the United States not to implement punitive tariffs that could make South Africa's economy a collateral damage in the trade war with China. That's according to the nation's trade minister, Rob Davis. Now, South Africa has been hit by steel and aluminum tariffs, and the detrimental effects could be exacerbated if they are extended to the automotive industry, which the minister said accounts for about 7% of South Africa's economy. In response, the nation could remove U.S. poultry concessions, though that is subject to a court application by South African producers, and may not be a decision that is taken directly by government, Davis said in an interview with Bloomberg Television. Well, on that note, many thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of the Business Dashboard right here on Citi TV. My name is Bobie Osei. We'll see you tomorrow with some more news from the world of business.